So what's up, Cam?
Not a whole lot, Mitch. I'm awake, so I guess I'm up.
Yeah, yeah. I've been awake for a little while, but that doesn't mean my allergies aren't making me feel like crap.
Well, welcome to spring in the Midwest, sir.
Oh, yes. Yes, I am on 2 allergy medications that are
That's
supposed to help with this. And last time I went off of them, I felt like I was going to die. So they're doing something. They're just not doing as much as I would like them to. But it is what it is, man.
yeah, something's better than nothing.
Yeah, if we had the option to record later in the day, I would almost want to do that during the week, but like later in the day we could record and then we'd probably not be all gunky and allergy if that's a word.
This is true, but we're professionals, Mitch, so we are going to push through.
We're gonna soldier through and have some fun with this thing. So we talked about Amazon Music podcasts last week
Yes.
or last time, and how we had these explosive numbers. Well, apparently must have been a glitch because we did not have the follow-up numbers to support that. So we went right back. We did. It looks like we did gain a few subscribers, but nothing like we had for downloads for the one episode. So it must have been something where we got it added into the system, and maybe their servers downloaded a whole bunch of them or something like that. But
or we found what the people really want, Mitch.
yeah, that's true. We should just play Would You Rather every week.
Yep, that show would last for really long.
Yeah. Yep. I do like the game show podcasts. Like Incomparables got one and stuff like that. So those are always fun. All right. Well, I want to do a little bit of follow up on a couple of things real quick. So we did the follow up on the Amazon Music podcasts. That seemed like a topic that was a dud there, but just a follow up on that information. I talked about Calmer by Flare Audio last week or last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that after using them for a couple of weeks, they work, but they're not the magic bullet that I was hoping. So where they work the best. Now, for those of you who may not have heard last episode, these are a product called Calmer. And what they are, and they're the theory behind why they work, is that our ear canals are a little bit larger than they need to be. So we get a little bit more resonance in our ears. And that is fairly true. I do believe that there's some truth to that. But what they're trying to do is they have a little product called the Calmer that goes in your ear that just like narrows your ear canal down a little bit to help to eliminate that resonance. Now, after using them for a couple of weeks, I will tell you that the areas that they help the most in is if you are in a loud environment where there's a lot of harsh noises, they do tend to really cut that down a lot. So it does improve that. The other thing that I noticed is that in the car yesterday, my wife and I were driving down to Madison to go to Costco, technically Sun Prairie, but in the greater Madison area. We were driving down there and I was noticing just that there was a lot of like background noise. Now my wife just got a hearing aid and she was complaining about that too. Because she hasn't heard that. So now that she has a hearing aid, she's hearing it. So I put the Calmers in on the drive and it actually helped a lot. I could hear the radio better than I normally can with all the background noise. It cuts out this sound that I kind of get in my ears when like that resonance is happening in my ear. So that helped me hear the podcast that we're listening to a little bit better. Are they a magic bullet for fixing something that you have with your ears? They're not. But they do work fairly well for what they're designed for. So that's my official review.
Nice.
And at $30 a set, you have to judge whether or not it's something that's right for you. So I'll probably still go on using them in certain environments just to improve my quality of life, but it's not something that I'm wearing all the time every day. So we forgot something on the episode last time. A little piece of follow up.
Very, very important piece of follow up. I'm a bit saddened that we didn't talk about it last episode.
I can't believe we forgot it, quite honestly.
I know. It's embarrassing.
So in our episode where we did the Would You Rathers, we had a Would You Rather go to KFC or Chick-fil-A. And as we talked on the episode, I had never been to a Chick-fil-A before. And we had one down in the Madison area, or we have one down in the Madison area, I should say. So I had an assignment to go and have Chick-fil-A, and I did, and I have some thoughts. So first off, I'm going to ask you, would you like to kind of reprise your answer on the KFC Chick-fil-A debate?
Chick-fil-A.
You are a Chick-fil-A guy?
Without question.
So
better than KFC.
To you, what makes it better than KFC?
KFC makes my insides want to be on my outsides.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A makes my insides nice and warm and enjoyable.
Okay. So my thoughts on
and
this.
I'm not going to get a $5 fill up at Chick-fil-A, like mashed potatoes and chicken and cheese and ugh.
Yeah, right. That there is a portion difference for sure between the two. So is that what you mean by your insides being on your outsides? Is
yeah,
it just too
KFC
much
it's just gross.
Oh, okay.
It's not good food.
Okay. So I have a few different observations about Chick-fil-A versus KFC. Now, on KFC's side, I do enjoy the fact that they have a much more diverse menu. You have like the boneless barbecue wings. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a bone-in chicken guy. You know, I just don't like, to me, I don't like to be reminded that my food came from an animal when I'm eating it. I know this stuff, but I don't need to be reminded of that. I just don't like bones in my meat. So when you start looking at the two places, there is some boneless stuff at KFC. As far as I can tell, Chick-fil-A is all boneless.
It's a chicken sandwich restaurant that they do chicken sandwiches and chicken nuggets. That's it.
So you do have a more diverse menu with KFC. It's a different feel as far as the food's concerned.
They're totally different restaurants. I don't even know why we're comparing them. I'm a bit confused on that end.
Well, it's because it was in the Would You Rather. So that's why we're doing
okay.
That. So
this to me is like those commercials have you seen where like that like 12-year-old kid compares the MacBook Air with like a Surface Pro? Why are we comparing these two things? They're not the same.
For marketing, that's why they do it.
Oh yeah, and it's for Microsoft to try and look good, but they wind up just looking silly because they're comparing something that's a tablet with something that's a laptop. But whatever.
Mm-hmm. Overall, I definitely Chick-fil-A was cleaner overall. I kind of find that when I go into a KFC, I don't feel like I kind of feel like there's grease everywhere, even in the lobby. Well, and I worked for McDonald's when I was growing up, and that grease gets everywhere. You know, It's like you have to wipe down the walls and the floor throughout the whole building to get rid of that grease that just floats around in the air. I did feel like it was a cleaner restaurant. The quality of the chicken was better overall. I did enjoy that. I would say one place where I could see improvement with Chick-fil-A is I don't like their barbecue sauce as much as maybe like I'm really big on more of a less sweet, a little more spicy. And the barbecue sauce at Chick-fil-A is definitely more on the sweet side.
Well, they're from the South. They like everything sweet down there.
Hey, I'm not faulting them for it. It's just my personal taste.
Did you have Chick-fil-A sauce while you were there?
We just had the barbecue sauce. I had nuggets just because we were watching our calories, and the burgers had a lot more calories. So because of the bread, of course. But I thought the chicken was good. You know, it's definitely when you would look at like a pack of McNuggets from McDonald's versus the chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A, it's real chicken. I mean, they're both real chicken, but it's not processed chicken. It's, it feels like they took a chicken breast and cut it up and breaded it. Mm-hmm. Versus somebody threw it through a meat grinder and packed it together and Probably
this
added a
is
bunch of garbage to it.
yeah, it's not MDF.
Mhm. I would have liked it if the coating on the chicken was a little bit better. To me, it didn't feel like it was terribly thick. I do tend to like a more of a breading, kind of a breading. If I remember correct, it's been a little while since I've been there, but it seemed like the coating was a little thin on the nuggets. But that's just and again, my personal taste. If I'm gonna do like, I'm not a big chicken guy anyway. You know, I'll eat chicken. I don't mind it, especially if it's prepared really well. But when it comes right down to it, I'm more of a burger, maybe steak guy. It's just kind of the direction that I lean in. Pork. I like my dead pig. So so
Well,
yeah.
I'm glad that you have experienced Chick-fil-A now, Mitch.
I will say that if I was in a chicken mood and I wanted to go get some chicken, Chick-fil-A would be a restaurant that I could get after. The other thing that is a little bit different about the way that my wife and I do things is we don't do a lot of fast food. So that was probably felt a little bit out of my element doing, going to what felt more like a fast food restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to sitting down, experiencing a meal. That's probably what would keep me long term. Like I don't go to KFC that much either, but that's probably what would keep me from going to Chick-fil-A long term. Is just that I just don't do fast food that much, if ever. So just a personal thing again,
Yeah.
but yeah, when going back to the would you rather KFC versus Chick-fil-A, if they were the only two restaurants available, and that's what we were going to do, definitely Chick-fil-A.
You've answered correctly.
All right. So, man, I have a problem.
Okay.
You and I are both on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So, do you like buy a lot of stuff from the advertisements on Instagram?
I have bought one thing in the history of Instagram ads,
Okay.
and it was a Hamilton hoodie, and it was hysterical. Are you familiar
Okay.
with the musical?
Oh yeah, yeah. My wife's
Okay.
huge into Hamilton.
You know
I watch it once.
the song that the King of England sings, where it goes la da 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 da.
Yep,
So I have a
definitely.
hoodie that's got the King of England on it, and then it just says la da 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 da. All that entire section is just written on the hoodie, and
Yeah.
it looks ridiculous. And I bought it because it's really funny.
Because it's
That's the only
ridiculous.
thing. Yeah, that's the only thing I've purchased off of Instagram.
Okay. So I'm a sucker for marketing. I'm going to be quite honest with you there. And I tend to, when I'm looking through Instagram, I've gotten sucked into a lot of different products on Instagram. There's been a few products that I've come across that have really been good, things that I've really enjoyed. I think that's where I first saw the book scanner that I purchased about a year ago, and different things like that, stuff that I've used. But I'm preparing for, and it seems like I find a way to bring this up on every episode. But I'm preparing for a vacation coming up in June, and I'm over engineering my vacation to make sure that it is as smooth as possible. And one of the things that really bothers me is going through TSA and having to take everything off to go through TSA and then put it all back on. And probably the one thing that I hate the most is having to take my belt off. So I ran across a solution for this. And I don't know if this is something that I'm going to use outside of our vacation, but I have, and the name is hilarious. You're going to laugh at this. It's called the Belt Bro. I paused for your laugh.
I'm disappointed in you for buying something called the Belt Bro.
So instead of a belt, what these are is they're little straps that hold two of your belt loops together. And there's an elastic component to this that helps to hold your pants on. So I had these on for a little while yesterday just to try them out. They work okay. I think I'm definitely a belt guy, but even like with shorts, I can see maybe something like this would work really well with shorts. And because we're going to be going down to Florida in June, I'll be wearing shorts down there for sure. So we'll see how that works. I'm at least gonna wear them for the flight down and the flight back, just so that I don't have to mess around with taking off my belt and stuff like that when I go through TSA. But beyond that, we'll see. So I don't like wearing a belt with shorts. Are you a belt guy?
I mean, I don't think that's one of the things that I would identify as, but yes, I wear them.
Okay. Well, you wear a belt. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have lost enough weight that I need belts, but not enough that I need a second round of new pants. I've already bought the first round of new pants, but
Yeah.
I'm not at the point where I need a second round of new pants yet. So the belt does come in handy for preventing my daughter from pulling my pants down in public when she grabs my leg.
Yep. That's a good thing. I find it interesting that I was listening to Back to Work with Merlin Mann a few weeks back, and apparently he's a belt and suspenders guy now.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
I'm going to admit to
Are you
you
surprised by that?
Not really. But I'll admit to you that the older I get, the more function becomes important over form. I don't know. I think I'm beginning to understand my dad a little bit more than I used to. But fashion just becomes much less important over like the function of your clothes and keeping your pants up. So I don't know if I'll ever become a suspenders guy, but I like to leave my shirt untucked, and I think that would challenge the suspenders.
Just wear your suspenders under your shirt. That way no one has to know.
That feels a little weird, though. I don't know. But anyway.
Then you could rip your shirt off and be suspenders man.
Oh, there's something really wrong with that.
Have no fear. My pants aren't going anywhere.
So just to be fair, the calmer things were something I saw on Instagram as well. So, but I thought every once in a while I just need to share an Instagram find with the audience so that either you can learn by my stupidity not to buy something, or maybe we find some really good finds. One thing that I've really been tempted by, and I can't do it right now, but maybe down the road I can, is there is a Kickstarter for that I sent it to you, that chessboard.
Yeah.
That is all electronic. Now, not only does it help you learn how to better play chess, because when you touch the piece, it lights up the squares on the board that piece can move to, and it'll let you know like what good moves are and what bad moves there are, and kind of gives you a little bit more information than just where you can move. But it has the added benefit of, I think there's a service that you have to sign up for to make this work, but it'll connect to your phone and you can sit and play against an opponent live. Like if you and I wanted to play and we both had this chessboard, that you would make your move, and then on my board would be a little blue light that would pop up on the board where the piece is, and then another blue light where you moved it. So then I would just move the piece to where you moved it, and now it's my move. And then when I moved, you would get a notification of what my move was, and then we just keep playing back and forth like that, which I think is kind of a interesting concept. I want to say, and I might be wrong with the price on this, but I want to say it was in the mid hundreds, maybe 150, maybe a little bit less than that, for the board. And in the Kickstarter, they had the option, like a lot of these, they have the option to buy multiples. But I thought that was an interesting concept. Like I said, my money's going towards our vacation, so I can't do anything with it right now. But it was a cool concept. Speaking of my vacation, just a real quick update for any of you that are planning a vacation to, especially Galaxy's Edge, down at Disney World or Disneyland. They open up, I found this out yesterday, that they open up reservations for like the big stuff, like Savi's Workshop and the Droid Depot and Aga's Cantina. They're three of the things that they take reservations for. They open those reservations up 180 days in advance. So 6 months in advance, you can get your reservations. Now, if you've been paying attention, we're only 50 days away from our vacation right now. And I just realized yesterday that I could make these reservations. So yeah, I missed out. So yeah.
Oh,
So
dude.
what's going to happen? I did get a very late in the day reservation. There weren't very many reservations left for the Droid Depot, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. I've been watching a couple of videos on building your own droid at the Droid Depot, and that looks really cool. So I'm hoping that when we get back from the vacation, I have the opportunity to kind of show that off a little bit. That's going to be a pretty loaded show that the end of that week, because that's the week of WWDC as well.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we might just have to record a couple of shows that Saturday and space it out a little bit, but that'll be something that'll be fun to show off on the show. But yeah, I missed out on Savi's workshop, so I am getting the parts that I need to do a lightsaber through a seller on eBay, and then there's a handful of parts that I'm going to have to pick up when I'm down at Galaxy's Edge. But I'll at least be able to get the experience of building a lightsaber, but I won't be able to do the Savi's workshop portion of it. So I think that seems like there's an issue with some of that stuff, because there's a ton of resellers on eBay and on Amazon for Galaxy's Edge stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling that there's a bunch of these guys that are making these reservations 6 months in advance and then selling everything. It irritates me a lot because, they're pretty much soaking up all the reservations right now because they're only doing 8 people in the room at a time when it used to be a lot more because of COVID. I have a solution. I doubt that anybody from Disney listens to our show, but if there's anybody that's connections to Disney or if by chance there's a solution to this problem, make this stuff available online. It's not as much fun of an experience to build your own lightsaber online or build your own droid online or something like that. But for somebody who can't get to the park or can't get a reservation to do it at the park, I think it would be really neat to be able to do this stuff online and just order it. And maybe there's a premium for doing it online. Maybe you're paying $50 more or something like that to do it online because they're not getting your money for entering the park. Mm-hmm. So I think it would be reasonable to pay more on the website for it than if you were at the park. So
makes sense.
That would help to kind of eliminate a lot of the aftermarket sellers and stuff like that are ruining the experience for everybody. So yeah.
I'm bummed that you don't get to go.
Well, we're going.
No, to the workshop and do that.
Yeah, but that stuff we're not going to be able to experience while we're there. But I did talk to my wife, and we might take the opportunity at some point, maybe a year and a half down the road or something like that, to do this vacation again. But do it like somebody that lives in Wisconsin should do this, and do it in January or February. So get out of the be able to leave when it's freezing cold out here and go down to Florida instead of doing it in the middle of summer.
That's funny.
Yeah, we got married in June, so it makes sense that we're doing this as our anniversary in June. But if we were just doing this vacation just as a getaway, it makes more sense to do that in the winter. So, well, I have monopolized the first part of the show, so I'm hoping to get a lot of your thoughts on the event that's coming up on Tuesday. So
yes. New things from Apple.
So Apple announced their what do they call it? Something about spring.
The spring event? I don't know what they actually call it.
It's a spring event, but they had an interesting name for it, and I'm not finding it now. Because I think last year was the spring ahead. This is like spring into something, or I don't know. Who cares? They're doing an Apple event on Tuesday, and I thought we would talk about our thoughts a little bit. Maybe not so much predictions, because I don't think this needs to be like a scored event. There's other podcasts that do stuff like that. But
no Ricky's here.
No Ricky's here for sure. I'm only like a little bit into that episode right now, but it's been fun so far. I have some thoughts, and I think I'm interested to hear what you have to say about the iPad. So I'm looking at, and I'll show it into the throw notes. Right. Let's try that again. I'll throw it into the show notes. Oh, I think we have a title. I'll show it into the throw notes.
There it is.
All right. On Mac Rumors, they have kind of a nice breakdown that they put up yesterday called "What to Expect from Apple's April 20th event." I think it was the top story when I went there earlier. If you wanted to pop that up or not, but I'll show that into the throw notes. I'm going to get this right eventually, but it is in the show notes now. So
yes, and in the thumbnail for the video at the top, have you read what's engraved on the AirTag?
Based on a dubious rumor from a leaker. Yeah, that's funny.
And then it says mocked up by a Mac Rumors designer made in Vermont.
That's pretty funny. I like it.
I love little stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until you said something.
All right. Let's talk iPad, Mitch. I'm sorry. Let's talk about the iPad because I believe in proper English.
Let's talk about iPad Pro.
Yes. At Apple, we love iPad Pro. And at Anchorman's news station, Brick loves lamp. We know this to be true. So dumb. I know I said it last episode. It bothers me on like a fundamental level that they just don't understand how English works.
Right. Oh, it just cracks me up to mess with you about that though.
Oh, it like I have like a visceral response to it.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think about iPad?
I think the iPad Pro is. I'm not getting a new one because I bought one. I bought the one that came out last year, and it's glorious and wonderful and lovely. And all the people that were dumping on it were people that already had iPad Pros, and I didn't. And so it's my first iPad Pro, and it's glorious. But the thing about this rumor about the new refresh for the 2021 iPad Pro is this little line here. Both models will feature an updated A14X chip that's just as powerful as the M1 chip. What? Mitch, pray tell, can you guess why that might excite me?
Because you really like that M1 chip in your MacBook Air.
Yeah, and what has been on every list of things that I want on the iPad since we started this show?
Jailbreak the widgets.
Well, yes, that.
This is the episode where I get Cam to quit.
Those of you that aren't seeing the video, I just gave Mitch the most disappointed dad, like head and hands. No, I want Logic and Final Cut on the iPad. And if this chip is as powerful as the M1, the only reason they don't put those on the iPad is by choice, not by lack of power. So them making the iPad Pro as powerful as these new the new Mac Mini and MacBook Air is awesome. I mean, one, it's further proof that they are invested in making the iPad, even more so than they have previously, a desktop level as far as power is concerned machine. So if that's true, which we'll find out on Tuesday, and then subsequent days as Geekbench scores come out and breakdowns and all that sort of stuff, once those things go live, this really excites me on a number of levels, but specifically because it gives me hope that we might start getting those pro level applications on the iPad in the near future, which would be awesome.
Yes.
The big issue is all the plugins that go along with Final Cut and Logic. So that, but if Apple does this correctly and allows for a fully featured version of those applications on the iPad Pro, it's just a matter of time before those plugins get ported over. So anyways, there's technical hurdles still, but this is a huge step in the right direction. for a potential truly pro iPad.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me very, very happy.
And then there's rumors of a mini LED display.
Mm-hmm. That to me, like, okay, great. But that just drives the price up right now because they're still really expensive to make.
Yeah.
I get that they want their Pro line to have bleeding edge technology in every way possible that, works with the supply chain and they can actually pull off. Like, I get it. It's good. We're pushing things forward. And the more they make them, the better they'll get at making them, which will drive the price down. But yeah, so like, it's one of those things that like, I'm happy is on there, but I'm also happy is on there in the time frame when I am not updating my iPad. Because by the time I will update my iPad in 3 years, that technology will have advanced a lot further and it will be cheaper to produce. So I am personally happy that it's happening when I'm in a non-update portion of my iPad life cycle, because mine's only a year old and that thing is everything I need. So I'm not going to upgrade my iPad for a while unless something crazy happens. I am perfectly content with the 2020 iPad Pro. It's a great machine.
It does look like the rumor is that the mini LED will only be available in the 12.9 inch.
Which makes sense, right? If they're only going to put it in one model so they can charge a premium for the 12.9 inch because of the mini LED. That becomes the flagship Pro, right? They can drive the price up. It's a bigger screen and it's less SKUs in their supply chain, right? They only have to make one size of this thing. So yeah, that tracks to me. That makes sense.
What would you want in an Apple Pencil that you don't currently have?
I don't know. The second version is really, really nice. I like that it's flat on one side, so it doesn't roll. Unless you're on a very, very steep incline, in which case you got to go with the flow, Mitch, not against it. I like the double tap feature to like go from writing to erasing, or whatever the option is in your application of choice. I don't use it very much because I don't do a lot of art as far as like, painting and drawing is concerned. Battery life is incredible. Responsiveness is good. I think any additions or improvements to it would be in like the sensitivity and the angle, like for art specific applications. I don't think I need any physical buttons on it. So like me personally, there's no improvements that I can think of that would make me want to get a third gen. But I think for people that are using it for fine art or, like architectural, like anything that you need this to be as precise as a mechanical pencil, there's definitely room for improvement there. But I'm not one of those people. So I don't think. Now, I like that here the picture of it is all black. Like that'd be cool to have an all black option. But I'm not going to spend $100 or $150 on a new Apple Pencil just to make it black. Like, no, that's an absolute waste of money.
No, I did see on here that they're talking about the finish being glossy.
Yeah, which is I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, potentially a black model.
I like because the original Apple Pencil was glossy, and I like matte things just in general. Ooh. Like when college football helmets started making the move to matte finishes instead of those glossy shiny ones. Oh my gosh, it just looks so much better, especially in the dark colors. Like when Michigan's helmets have the blue is matte and the yellow wings are glossy. It looks so good because they're bright yellow, so they pop anyways. But like when the lights hit them, they it's
they
super
shine.
Cool. Yeah, it's awesome.
No, I was showing you. I have the original here.
Yeah, it's glossy, and I don't like
the goofy one with the
light port on the yeah.
Yeah, I would love inductive charging for that.
Don't you know that's how you're supposed to hold your iPad? Is you just plug you hold it up like a flag?
Yeah, no, I did that. So once. No, this is the original iPad Pro that I have. So yeah, it would be nice for an upgrade. But again, we're normal blue collar folk here, so um,
Yeah.
you know, we get stuff as we can afford it. So probably not in the cards this year.
Well, I mean, you are going to Disney World, so
Yeah, there's that.
priorities,
There's, you know, we're working on our foster license and stuff this year too, and
Yeah,
that's
there are,
not really
priorities.
costing us a lot, but yeah, there's priorities for
Priorities with the budget. Money is not endless.
sure. Mm-hmm. Faux show.
And making smart decisions with it is important.
Mm-hmm. So in the article next, they discuss the iPad Mini. Doesn't seem like they're really changing a whole lot. Possibility of maybe going to a slightly larger screen, but in the same footprint.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense if they can pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice, but I'm just not a mini guy. You know, I actually normally I look at like the what is it, the 11-inch right now would probably be the one that I would choose. But I've looked at the 12.9 before, and you know, as far as portability, it would be an issue for me because it's not going to really fit in my bag very well. But I'm tempted by the screen space sometimes. But but I'd probably end up going with the 11-inch. There's a little bit of talk about the low cost 8th generation iPad. Well, understand, I think this article is basically saying, well, here's all the stuff that could happen, and then the first items are probably the most likely. This one here, you know, really just a
chip refresh. Yeah.
So, how do you feel about AirTags?
I'll believe him when I see him.
Well, that's part of it.
These things have been rumored for what feels like 2 years now.
Okay, so put them in context. I really think that they were probably looking at releasing these about a year ago, but with COVID,
yeah, no one's traveling.
Yeah, no one's doing anything. So what's the point? So I think there was a lot of maybe some technical issues, maybe some possible antitrust legal issues that they were working on too. There's been a little bit of talk about that with opening up the Find My to other devices, which is happening now. So you know, companies like Tracker and Tile and stuff like that could have their stuff in the Find My system. And I'm not prepared to necessarily talk about the stuff that's been announced, but there's a electric bike, a bicycle that's on the Find My. I can't say it's on the network yet because it hasn't officially been released, but there's a product coming. So I forget the name of the company that is putting that out.
Yeah, it's not cheap either.
No, not at all. You know, the AirTags would be kind of tempting just because we're traveling to throw one in each of our bags and just in case something happens that they get lost. But I think they'll be a little bit more like I like the idea of it being tied in with the Find My app just because the proliferation of Apple products out there right now are quite numerous. With Tile, it's like it really required that there were other Tile users that had the app installed for them to be able to find your products.
Oh, so kind of like when Batman uses everyone's cell phone to find the Joker.
Kind of
they're
like
doing that same thing.
Yeah. So with the iPhone, and I'm sure it's going to be like one of those screens that pops up when you update the phone, that'll say, "Hey, do you want to help people find their stuff?" That you'll be able to say yes or no to that because there is a privacy angle to that as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm sure Apple's going to do it right. You know, I don't think they're going to leave a gaping hole in their privacy just for this. So they'll figure out a way to do this the right way. But I like the idea of it being something that's just built right into the iPhone that nearly anybody who has an iPhone could have active. They don't have to have an AirTag. They don't have to have stuff that works with this. They can just have it turned on. And then you know, if you figure that a third to a half of phones that are out in the streets right now are iPhones, it really increases the chances of being able to find your stuff. I think that's really the power of the AirTags. It's not the tag itself, but it's the network that
just the ubiquity of iPhones, right?
I think that's a story that they have to tell when they announce these, if they announce these. But I think that's the selling point, is just the like how powerful a system that is to be able to find things. So that's my feeling. I leave myself open to always being wrong about any of this stuff, but yeah, but that's the way I'm thinking about it.
Never, Mitch, never. I don't know. These have never appealed to me. And the only reason I'm even remotely interested in them is to find out if they finally get released or not.
Yeah.
And, you know, as with all Apple products, they will be more expensive than the competition. And tiles are like $25 to $35 per.
The rumor is $39.
Yeah, I'm not spending $39 per AirTag. Like, that's just, I'm not doing it. Now, that being said, if I was traveling and I had all of my photo and video equipment in a big Pelican case, then I would spend the $39 to put one in there, because that's like $8,000 worth of equipment. So then it becomes 1,000,000% worth the cost. But just to, like, I don't know, stick in my kid's backpack, like, I don't know.
Well, with traveling this year, that's been a thought for me. I usually, if you haven't figured this out already, I'm a bit of a control freak. So when I travel, I don't like checking bags, so I try to travel as light as possible so that I can live out of a carry-on and a personal bag, because most airlines will allow you to carry those on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I intend to travel. And this last week, I was looking into all this stuff to make sure that our tickets would include that. And, if I had to check a bag, I would check a bag if I had to, but I prefer not to. I actually almost would rather UPS stuff down to the hotel prior to leaving than have it sitting on the plane where it could get lost. So, which is what we'll probably do for anything that we buy down at Galaxy's Edge when we come back, is just go to the UPS store and have it shipped home, rather than trying to carry it back in a bag. So we'll see what we have space for when we're ready to leave. But yeah, I'm only looking at like half filling my carry-on bag with clothes anyway, because we're going in summer, so I'm not going to need sweatshirts and a lot of warm clothing, and just need t-shirts and shorts and such. So that doesn't take up that much room. So I'll have extra space in the suitcase anyway.
Make sure to leave room for your suspenders.
I shall. I'm not going to wear suspenders out there.
You're missing out, man.
Yep. I'll miss out. I'm good with that. They have IMAX on the list. I'm going to be surprised.
Yeah.
I'm going to be surprised if we see those next week.
This feels more like the fall event when they released the updated version of the M chip.
I was thinking more WWDC maybe. But
haven't they really, though, gotten away from hardware announcements at WWDC lately? It's all just been software.
I still want to say that they've done them. I think that they save stuff like this for stuff that developers are going to care about. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't know that they've done a whole lot of hardware announcements at WWDC in a while.
You see that matte black iMac there on the left in that?
I do.
Man, that is a good-looking back of a computer.
Yeah. So, which is funny because I'm just going to put up against the wall anyway. But that would probably be the one that I ordered. So let's say that black one wasn't available. Which one would you prefer?
If that black one wasn't available, so what do we got? We got like a light blue, a mint green, a rose gold, and
isn't that one kind of purple? The first one on the right hand side.
Yeah, but I think it looks purple because it's on a green background. I think it's supposed to be a light blue.
Yeah, let's zoom into it once and take a look here. Good grief!
I could be wrong.
Okay, there we go. I don't know. That looks pretty like a violet color to me, or like a lilac. Okay, I'm a guy. I don't know my colors very well, but it's a very light,
Maybe a
kind of
periwinkle.
purplish. Sure, I'll go with that.
If there wasn't black, I'd go for the green.
I do like the green. That's a
I like
nice
mint.
look.
White, black, and mint is a nice color combo, Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of my jam right now, I'm being honest. It's
Yeah.
the theme on my website, cambrennan.com. White, black, and mint.
All right. I'm excited for you.
I am. Well, thank you, Mitch, for being excited for my website's color palette.
Yeah. I think for me, if they were to release a iMac, or they were going to announce an iMac next week, to me, they would have to announce a upgraded M1 chip, because the current M1 doesn't support all the jacks that we would need on a desktop. And I'm just afraid that that's what they're going to do, is they're going to give you like 2 HDMI ports. Or I'm sorry, not HDMI, 2 USB-C ports or Thunderbolt ports on there that pretty much you're going to have to run into dongles to get anything done on them, because the current chip doesn't seem to support much more than that. So,
Dongle Town.
Although they are saying that it's going to be like the 23 or 24 inch, so it's going to replace the smallest one. So maybe when they release the 27 inch, that's the one that comes out with the upgraded chip that has the higher capacity for I/O.
Yeah, that would make sense to make that one the flagship, as it were.
Yeah, like the Pro model. They don't have to call it Pro, but the more Pro model.
Yeah, I think the iMac Pro is dead.
Yeah. Oh, the next thing that they talk about here is just the cases. It seems it seems like it would be a good thing to put out some spring colors, whatever. My question is that red or like an orange color? Like that looks more like an autumn orange color on my monitor, but I bet you that's just the product red.
Yeah, but it might just be a matte finish.
Yeah, I would love an autumn orange color, like a burnt or dark orange. My Jeep is Omaha orange. That's a very nice color. There is a rumored MagSafe battery pack.
Yeah, this has been rumored for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah. So again, this article is really just kind of emptying out the closet of all the stuff that's kind of been rumored as possible to announce. So I don't know that we'll see this next week, but it's possible. But I keep saying this week, but technically we're gonna be releasing this tomorrow night, which is technically this week. But you guys will just have to figure that out. We're recording on Saturday. So the release, we'll get a release date for 14.5, iOS 14.5.
After all 17 public betas.
Right. So this is pretty likely. I'm guessing we'll probably have the release this week for this. Do you remember all the stuff that's in 14.5?
New Siri voices is really all I remember.
Yeah, the new Siri voices are in there. Apple Watch iPhone unlocking.
Oh yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah, that sounds cool because I don't have to pull my mask off every time I want to unlock my phone. Which is an issue because I wear my iPhone, or I wear my iPhone. I wear my mask. I'm ready. I'm about ready to give up. I should have slept better last night. The dual SIM support for 5G is listed on here.
5G.
T-Mobile standalone 5G network support. Oh, crowdsourcing for Apple Maps for accidents.
Oh yeah, like Waze.
Yeah, so it'll have some ways. So you can report a speed check, a hazard, or an accident. So not quite as robust as Waze, but it would be nice if we could, with CarPlay, be able to report stuff. Although I have a feeling they're probably not going to enable that with Car. Oh wait, It does say right here, this is available directly on the iPhone and in CarPlay. So very cool. So that'll be right in CarPlay. I use Apple Maps on CarPlay in my Jeep all the time. Looks like crowd source data for points of interest as well. Updating soon.
I feel like people could abuse that.
I suppose, yeah.
Like they did with GameStop stocks.
Yeah, this is my house. There are some updates to emojis. It looks like there's some new emojis and some updated emojis. There's some bearded ladies in here.
Super.
Is that oh, beards for all, it says. So is that supposed to be like, you know what? I'm not even touching that. Just walking away from that one. Yeah, everyone's going to be able to have a beard now. Skin tones for couples. Looks like they're changing up some of the skin tones available where you can have mixed race relationships in there. So one person with a darker complexion, another one with lighter complexion. And then a couple of revamped ones. The headphones will now look like AirPods Max. And they changed the syringe from a syringe that's dripping with blood, which seemed like a bad idea to begin with, to one that looks more like the vaccination, because I think that they're just responding to that. I think is that the people are going to be using that for vaccinations. I think I sent something out to somebody with saying, "Hey, I got vaccinated," and used the bloody syringe. So. It's the only syringe available, so. You'll be able to set a preferred music streaming service. So if you prefer Spotify, in Siri, then you'll be able to just say, "Hey, I want to listen to the Black Crowes," and it'll open it up in Spotify instead of Apple Music.
Nice reach, Mitch.
That's the first one that came to mind, but I do appreciate some good Black Crowes. Let's see. There's something with Apple Music here. There are new slide gestures in Apple Music for adding a song to the now playing queue or adding to the Apple Music library. So I'll have to, it looks like you can swipe when you search for a song or you see a song in Discover or something like that, you'll be able to swipe across and it'll give you options for adding it to your current playlist. And I'm guessing if you swipe the other way, it gives you access to adding it to your music library and stuff like that instead of long pressing on it. So that should be pretty cool. You'll be able to share lyrics. So when I'm listening to that Black Crow song and I come across some great lyrics, I can send you the lyrics. So are you looking at the interface on Mac Rumors?
The interface?
Yeah, the interface for that. Yeah, because it looks good. Like you want to share a song with somebody, you can select the lyrics and then just send them. It looks like it pops it up in a little, I don't know if that's an image. If it just creates a little image of the lyrics and then the song title and artist, or exactly how that works. But that looks really cool. It'll be fun to try that out. I'll send my wife some really baffling lyrics, and she won't know what the heck I'm sending her. For some albums, the recording label information is more prominently displayed. I could care less about that. Apple Music City Charts. The code suggests that Apple Music is adding a new City Charts feature that will offer users access to playlists featuring the most played songs in more than 100 cities around the world. Might be interesting to try, but I don't know. That's something that I would use all the time. AirPlay 2 for Fitness Plus. Oh, interesting. So the AirPlay 2 for Fitness Plus will basically allow you to use your iPhone, your iPad, or your watch to AirPlay your workouts to compatible AirPlay 2 enabled smart TV or set-top box. So that's interesting. If I'm reading that right. Expanded controller support. They've got a picture of the PS5 controller, but it also lists the Xbox Series XS controller that'll be able to be used with the iPhone and iPad. I thought that was already a thing, but apparently it's not. Apple Card family support. I don't know if I want my wife charging stuff on my Apple Card. Although I would get the daily cash for it. So, Siri emergency calls, MagSafe wallet. When attaching and detaching one of Apple's MagSafe wallets to the iPhone model, there's a stronger, more noticeable haptic vibration. I don't know. I'll put this in the show notes if you guys want to go in and look at it a little bit more. Cam seems to be very disinterested in it. You sleeping over there yet? Right. There's some cool stuff in there, but
oh my goodness.
Apple TV. This is under their other unlikely possibilities. But Apple TV working with a new version of Apple TV 4K and a refresh that's highly anticipated because Apple hasn't updated the Apple TV since 2017. I've seen some, or I've heard some things about some really interesting things that they might be doing with the Apple TV. In here, they talk about like a faster processor, integration with the Find My app, some other things like that. But there's been some like really weak rumors about the possibility of having it built into a soundbar that would incorporate like the HomePod features and Apple TV features into a single unit that could be used for your TV speakers. So
interesting.
It could be interesting. Probably not a new MacBook Pro at this point because they just got updated.
Yeah.
Did they update the 15-inch at the same time?
No, it's just the entry-level Pro that got updated with the M1 chip.
Okay, so not the 15. So maybe
Correct.
I don't know. I would see that coming along with the 27-inch iMac that would be on that next generation M1 chip. Yeah, I don't see that happening now, just because it's not going to have the ports that you're going to need, or a Pro would need. And the last thing on here, and I'm going to be honest with you, I am holding off on a new pair of AirPods Pro, waiting to see if they're going to announce anything on Tuesday. But they do have the possibility of an AirPods 3. Now, these are not the Pros. There's a rumor that they do have new AirPods Pro in the lineup for the fall, but they're not going to be now. But so I'm guessing the AirPods are probably going to more likely be updated in the fall.
Just in time for the holidays.
Hey, question for you. I was thinking about this, and I would really be curious to know when it comes to, now you're an AirPods Pro user, I'm an AirPods Pro user. And because I was thinking about getting a new pair now. I want to get it before we go on vacation in June, because I can't stand the rattling in my left ear any longer. Definitely not going to deal with that on vacation. But let's say they did update the AirPod Pros next week. I'm sorry, AirPods Pro next week. What would you be looking for that would get you interested in buying a new pair? Now, I realize you just bought the pair that you had, but let's pretend like you were ready to upgrade, but you weren't totally sold on upgrading. What would get you to buy a new pair?
What would get me to buy a new pair of AirPods Pro? Better battery life. Not the battery life is bad, but more battery is always good. I really don't know if they can improve the dynamic range of the audio in such a small speaker, but that would be nice as well. Stuff like that, I guess, really is what comes to mind. And honestly, I wish they had longer stems. I hate the itty bitty little ones That because
Yeah.
before you used to just tap them, but now they've shrunk the size, and you actually have to physically click a button, which is like you did this backwards. I should have had to physically click a button when the stems were longer, so I didn't have to like hit this. And then when you go smaller, you just tap on it. Like they did it completely backwards. I have no idea why they did it that way. I hate clicking that button because you in your ear you hear kink kink. It's so dumb.
So you obviously are way more sensitive to this because I actually prefer that to the tapping. Because to me, like it gets in my ear and then I go to tap it, and that experience just is not
How
not
hard
what
were
I
you
would prefer.
tapping it?
Well, I got big hands. So it's like a little bit a heavier tap. I don't know. It's just not as nice as just being able to get that little click. It's not that loud. I don't understand why you hate that click so much. I kind of like it.
Well, add it to the list of things we disagree about, Mitch.
You know what? It's okay. You and I are two individuals. We don't have to always agree about everything.
This is true.
But the rumor, and this is probably what you're going to hate, is the rumor is it's going to have shorter stems on it. So, but there was a rumor positing the possibility of not having stems on them at all.
Like Samsung ones.
Yeah, I don't really care for that look. I almost prefer the way the AirPods are doing it versus having this big nasty thing like sticking out of your ear. It feels gross to me. That, and I fall asleep with them in every once in a while and wake up and they're like pushing into my ear. Now that never doesn't hurt, but I can't imagine what it would feel like if it was like sticking 2 feet out of my ear. So they obviously don't stick 2 feet out of my ear. I get that, but so I came up with something, and this is something that could possibly be added to the current AirPods Pro in software.
Yes.
But I would absolutely love, if I could put my AirPods in transparency mode, or for that matter, in noise canceling mode, and go in and adjust like everything, sound wise. If I could go in and there was an EQ that I could adjust the bass up a little bit or down a little bit, or, be able to adjust the way it sounds in transparency mode, I would love the ability to have control over what's filtered out, like what frequencies get filtered out versus because there's a good example to this. I have when I'm at work, and I don't use my AirPods at work, but just an example, we have a heater in back and receiving that is so loud. And it sits right in a particular frequency range that if I could filter out that frequency range, I could hear people talk clearer.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me to be able to go in and say, well, in transparency mode, I don't want to hear this set of frequencies. And it would be outside the human vocal range, but just say, okay, or maybe just have presets. That's the way Apple likes to do it. Like a clear voice preset that basically filters out sounds that don't fall within the common human vocal range. So anything above or below that would not get totally filtered out, but would be turned down in them. Those kinds of things would really, like, if that was only available in the new AirPods, I would be really, really hard pressed not to just like pull the trigger on a new pair of AirPods. That's what I want. All I want in life is hearing aids that you don't have to be deaf to use them, or hard of hearing to use them, that will filter the sound for your ears and just basically be like an enhancement to how things sound versus hearing aids that are designed to help you hear better. I just want to filter the sound that's coming into my ear.
You want sound. You want sound source for your ears, is what you want.
Exactly. I would totally dig that. I just want to hear things differently than what they sound like. Why that's so
you don't want augmented reality. You want augmented hearing, right?
Augmented hearing would be awesome. I love that. I love the term too. Augmented hearing, augmented audio. Just if you want to be alliterative.
Do these have ah? Yes, they do have ah.
Ah, ah.
Ah, I can hear you better now.
Hmm.
All sorts of marketing. There you go. Apple.
there's totally so much marketing there. I know there are products that say that they do this stuff. I just for it to be worth it for me, I'd like it to be very self-contained and almost, if it couldn't just be like hidden in the ear canal, it would have to be something that would be just low visibility, if it can't be no visibility in the ear.
Mm-hmm.
So we may eventually get there, but we'll see.
Bending the laws of physics.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make Mitch's ear holes happy.
Hey, you know what? If I can make my ear holes happy, that makes me happy. So overall.
Very good. We shall see. We shall see. Tuesday shall bring news of new things. The new things are always exciting.
So what's delighting you today, Cam?
Been thinking about this one. I got to play soccer with friends yesterday, Mitch.
That's cool.
For the first time in a very long time. And it was super fun. There's only 4 of us, but we managed to play for an hour and a half. And laugh a lot and miss the net a whole lot, which makes it more fun.
Yep.
But it was nice that, there's leaves are sprouting, flowers are blooming, the sky is blue.
The weather this last week has been perfect.
Yeah, it's been like
right in the 50s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, it was really enjoyable to be outside in the nice weather, running around, getting the heart rate up a bit, and just having fun and playing and spending time with friends. So that's what's delighting me, Mitch, is having fun.
Very nice. So this last week, I was on vacation. Just a staycation. We didn't go anywhere.
I thought you were extra responsive to our chess game.
Oh, yeah. I've been sitting at home all week. So that's what's delighting me. I haven't had to work all week this last week. And it's been good. And quite honestly, I've needed it. We've talked on the show before about just how things have been challenging recently at work and stuff like that. And how, I really needed a break. Well, this last week, I did a few things just to make sure that I gave myself permission to not do anything, which is something that I really needed to do because I'm a little bit of an overachiever too. And I really it drove me crazy the first couple of days because I really felt like, oh, I need to be doing something right now. I'm wasting time. I'm not. And it's like, who's telling you you're wasting time? Just sit back and enjoy your vacation. I watched a whole bunch of wrestling this last week. I mean, there was plenty to watch, but it was just a good, relaxing week. And this particular vacation I kind of do each year because I save a week of vacation in case something comes up. And our vacation flips over for the year on our anniversary date at work. And my anniversary date at work is April 19th. So next Monday, I'll have been with the company that I worked for 8 years. So having that last week of vacation to burn is oftentimes ends up being a staycation or a what we tend to call like the honeydew vacation. Get stuff done around the house and stuff like that, which I did have a couple of things I needed to get done this week, but I got them done and and then relaxed. And so it was good. But yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say about it. I watched some TV, I played some Fortnite. I just didn't put any pressure on myself to be busy all the time and getting a whole bunch of stuff done. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah. So speaking of wrestling, What'd you think of WrestleMania?
I thought night 1 was a lot better than night 2.
I can't disagree with that. I didn't give it a lot of thought, but I can't disagree with it. I thought that the main event the first night was just amazing.
It was so good.
Good grief. Sasha and Bianca just like tore it up. I mean, that's probably one of the best main event matches I've seen ever. Like, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Bad Bunny match was pretty amazing. Like, good grief. Who knew that he was going to actually show some chops in the match? He pulled that Canadian Destroyer on the outside of the ring, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I cannot believe John Morrison let him do that.
Right? So
I mean, in all credit,
he could have broke his neck.
Yeah, all credit goes to Miz and Morrison for. I mean, one, Bad Bunny did great, obviously, right? But Miz and Morrison sold it so well. They put him in. They put him in such good positions. They protected him. They did everything darn near perfect in that match to make the crowd lose their minds, because everyone loves to hate Miz and Morrison.
Yep.
I love to love them because they're amazing.
They're good. They are very underrated, and
but
I think
everyone craps on the Miz because he doesn't do high risk stuff. But like, he's never been injured. He's been there for 16 years and he's not missed a single day due to injury. And he's a professional. He gets the job done.
Yep. He's given.
Anyways, it was super good, and I think night 2 suffered from being night 2, not because it was bad, but because night 1 was so good.
It was hard to live up to.
There's a bit of a hangover, So
I'll be honest with you. We were going into the Sasha Bianca match, and I was thinking, man, how do you pass it? How do you how do you follow the Bad Bunny Ms. Morrison, that other guy match?
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest. I knew his name, but it wasn't coming to me. But how do you follow that? It was just so good. Yeah. And then they just absolutely dropped it. Like, it was so good. It was such a fun match to watch. I don't tear up at wrestling a whole lot, but man, when at the end of that match, when Bianca is holding the belt up and you could just see her like falling apart, or better yet, when they were starting the match and like she gets out, and it's the first time. Now, for those of you who don't watch wrestling, this is the first time they've been in front of an audience in over a year. And I mean, I'll make the joke. I was going to make the joke a year, a month, and a day, because they kept saying. But that's the first time they've been in front of an audience in a year, and you could really tell that it was affecting the wrestlers. Like they loved it, because if you have watched any documentaries, and I think it was I've been watching some of the Broken Skull sessions over the last week, with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah. And that was talked about a lot in some of the more recent episodes, was this like not having a crowd there to perform in front of really affects how they do their jobs, because they're used to, like, if something really goes over well, then they can react to that. But if something's not going over, they can change. And when you don't have anybody there to give you real feedback, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. So that was a really cool thing to be able to watch them and Bianca like almost like bawling to start the match, and just looking over, and then they'd shoot Sasha, and Sasha's standing there like, come on, we got to get going here. Let's do this.
No, but you could see Sasha gave her a big smile. Like, I'm with you. But then also let's do our job. Yep. Like, drink it in. It's time to go.
Yep.
So then one of my favorite parts, because there were many, was at the end of the match. They showed Bianca's family, and her dad he's jumping so high he almost falls over the barricade.
Right. Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah. It was a really special moment. So it was fun to watch. I'm trying to remember from the second night. I've been really trying to like the Fiend storyline stuff, and to some degree, there's been some things, but I think what makes that a special storyline is like where it's going. But they never seem to go anywhere with it.
Yeah, well, where they're going with it now is that Alexa Bliss has just completely stolen the gimmick from Bray Wyatt.
Pretty much. So I have my concerns about where this is going. I think the spot in WrestleMania gave me hope that they were going to do something really cool with this. But that's what this gimmick has been all about is, they're going to do something really, well, they really didn't follow through with it. And then it's, nope, didn't do it again. I really appreciate the creativity that's gone behind a lot of what they've done.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any end goal. It seems like they're flying by the seat of their pants. Not Bray Wyatt himself. I think he has plenty, but it just seems like creative is not my assumption, right? This is totally my assumption, is that the creative team isn't either letting him do everything he wants to do, or there's just no end goal yet, which is, it's wrestling. There's never an end goal, really. It's always just get to the next pay-per-view is what it feels like. Sometimes. Then sometimes you have the moments where Triple H turns on Seth Rollins and gives Kevin Owens the Universal title, and I legit jumped 8 feet in the air when that happened, because it was a 3-year storyline.
Yeah.
That came to a culmination out of nowhere, and it was just so good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything on the second night that was really noteworthy. I thought the
triple threat match for the Universal title was good.
It was okay. I didn't really like the finish, but it was okay. It was good.
They didn't want you to like the finish, Mitch.
No, I don't think they did.
They want everyone to hate Roman. Finally.
I really wanted to see Edge take the title from him, and
they weren't going to do 2 feel-good nights in a row, because you got Rhea Ripley winning the Raw Women's title, then Bianca Belair winning that. They weren't going to finish 2 nights in a row with the babyface winning.
No, and I'll be honest with you, I even said it in the Slack channel that we were in. I didn't like the way it felt to start the match, because the night had gone really well up to that point, and I thought they were going to pull a Brock Lesnar on us, where it was just going to end where everybody hated how it ended. And so I think that's it didn't, if Brock Lesnar would have came out and beat the crap out of everybody, that would have been the worst thing, and it would have been the thing I would have hated the most. But but I really wanted to see them set up a one-on-one match with Roman and Edge at Backlash. So I really wanted to see that match, and the fact that they teased it so much, and then they like shoehorned Daniel Bryan into it. Just to me, like it's like they wanted us to see that match. And so like I still feel like there's somehow, like, I didn't watch SmackDown from last night yet. But I feel like they should be pushing towards a match with the two of them, but we'll see.
Honestly, I think we're going to get Edge versus Daniel Bryan, and then the winner of that will face Roman at the following pay-per-view, would be my guess.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It was the triple threat match makes it more plausible for Roman to keep the title, at least. Where if it would have been the two of them, I think they would have had to give Edge the title. So unless they played the whole interference angle and all that stuff, and then built up to, a cage match or a TLC match, or
I don't think Edge is doing a TLC match.
I don't think so either.
Not that he wouldn't want to. It just would be a very, very risky choice on his part.
Right, but it would have had to either been like other things in play, like maybe Christian. I think Christian's cleared now, isn't he?
No, he signed with AEW like a month ago.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was their big surprise free agent signing.
Oh, well, whatever.
Because WWE didn't lock him down, so he went in for the money.
No, that would have been a good gimmick to have. And I kind of was wondering if that wasn't going to happen at WrestleMania, not knowing that he signed with AEW. But yeah, good stuff. Indeed. It was fun. Yep.
Another WrestleMania in the books.
Yeah. So I thought overall it was a good show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've talked about NXT before. I thought the takeover was decent. I thought there was some good stuff.
Decent, Mitch.
Is this a different show for us? There were matches in there that I was really impressed with. Yeah. Maybe I need to go back and watch
I like NXT. I like NXT more than Raw and SmackDown, though. And this again goes to, you're an NFL guy. I'm a college football guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Raw and SmackDown guy. I'm an NXT guy.
Hey, you know what? I've enjoyed NXT. I've been watching it a little bit more lately, and I thought the Cole O'Reilly match was, ugh. I mean, it doesn't. And honestly, they fight like they're going to lose their jobs tomorrow if they don't. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's that way every night. It's not just it's like the takeovers push it up a notch. But it's like every night they're fighting for their jobs. So
yep,
it's good stuff.
I am a fan.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're trying not to talk about wrestling a whole lot because it's not what our show is about. I don't know, I guess, but I like that. I thought with WrestleMania we should touch on it a little bit because it was fun. It was a fun show.
Indeed.
All right. Well, if you are looking for more information about us, you can head to innerdialogue.show. That'll get you the back catalog of the shows, and there's links there to subscribe to the show. And if you want to check out Amazon Music Podcast, you can check us out there too. Apparently that's a thing. If you have questions, comments, concerns, anything that you'd like to let us know about, head up to Twitter and you can check me out. I'm at Mitch Craig.
And I'm at Cam Brennan.
Very good. And you can just let us know what you think. And if you've got questions, would love to do follow up on the show, but we don't hear from people very often. So just because I was messing around with stuff this last week because I had time, I threw a shirt up on the Cotton Bureau. So if you'd like to support the show, you can go to Cotton Bureau and search for Inner Dialogue. I'll put a link in the show notes for the t-shirt. And I ordered one to wear in Florida to try and rep the show. So that'll be fun. But check that out. So if you've got a newborn baby, there's a onesie there too. So very good.
Oh wait, that's not a man-sized onesie? Shoot, I didn't change my order.
That's a little onesie. My wife tells me the other day, she's like, we should just order one of those for Cam and send it to him. And I was like, yeah, we could do that. I said, but it'd be funnier if we sent him the onesie. So
this is true.
Yeah. We'll see you guys back here in a couple of weeks. Again, hit us up on Twitter or check out innerdialogue.show. Cam, it's been good.
It has been. Indeed.
See you later, man.
Don't forget your suspenders.